Whoa. Been a lot of talk lately about AOC and what role progressive lawmakers should play in supporting organizing. Been playing a lot of Dark Souls lately, and it gave me a guess as to why this attempt succeeded where Bessemer failed. To take on a massive institution, you need to stay in its blind spot and prioritize avoiding its big direct attacks over maximum impact per action done. It's even better when you have allies pulling the attention and resources of the bosses. We heard far more about Bessemer and all the big names show up. You know, I thought about this. And I think it's an interesting theory. It may be why they won, but I happen to, like, look, Amazon spent a lot of money. They had a lot of resources. It's one thing having AOC go to Bessemer. It's another having her go to Staten Island from, Queens.
And a lot of her constituents live in her district, but work there. I would guess.
Right. And it's not a question of like, even if you think you're going to piss off this people in Staten Island, because they're all, very Republican over there. I think that's something that you would have said to Christian Smalls. If it was a strategic decision to be like, it's better for us to hang back, but we can send you these resources.
Right.
That I think your theory would be correct. Your theory may be correct as to why, maybe the one I don't think so. I think there was a lot of resources deployed there. I think Amazon knew exactly how problematic this was.
But in terms of like, I don't know, it could be right. It could be right that was why, it slipped through and it was able to be successful. But it doesn't.
Why it could be successful.
But it doesn't mean that Ocasio-Cortez's blind spot wasn't a or she missed it here, right? I have an issue with it being capitalized on for clicks, and I wish her response was more like, I messed up here. But I mean, it's just, again, it's like, I feel it's like such small ball that what we're talking about, because she supported their effort, and she could have done more, but she didn't.
Nevertheless, I think the thing too that really, you look to a couple of these organizers and realize that they did an amazing job. And, I think it's also just as likely that perhaps because they were independent of a union, they got support from some unions, but they ran independently. They were not taking the workers themselves were making the strategic decisions. I think there's something to that, and that they understood who they were dealing with more than any union coming from the outside could, because it was
politician
for that matter. But certainly it would it have helped? I would imagine it would, or if it wasn't going to help, I would have liked to have heard an explanation. Like what first one we mentioned, I think, she should have been gone there, been more vocally supportive. That's my opinion. I'm sure that they had a bunch of other things going on, but I think it should have been prioritized by her. But that's kind of where it ends for me, because an over focus on Ocasio-Cortez after there was this massive victory by Amazon employees to unionize here is only to brand your YouTube channel. Like, that is not what the focus should be. It should be on Chris, on all of the other union organizers there, and how can we take this fight to other areas of the country. That's what it should be. I do think there is value in pushing, those congresspeople and other politicians who did not show up, to make them pay a little bit of a price and make sure that there's an understanding of, like, we see you and you got to do this more. But I do think that, like,
but why is there a focus on? I mean, I don't know. There's a focus on
there was
one
a news story with her. Like,
because Smalls talked about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And B, she has the ability to draw attention to things in a way that no other really Democratic politician does. And, this seemingly is something that she should be deploying those resources for. If there's a legit reason why she didn't, she should be out there and being a little bit more, explaining that, and also explaining to the leaders who are organizing. prior to it.
Yeah.
So that,
but it's a degree. It's like it's a debate about degrees, because she was supportive of the effort. She just wasn't on the ground, which again, I think is a fair critique. But there's but the over focus on it is frustrating, because it's not the story here, in my opinion, at all.
I think the over focus is probably not as large as it seems to us, because it's in a corner of Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Or, it's done to appeal to a largely right-wing audience that you've cultivated.
But both those things are true.